the people that are currently available, welcome, welcome, welcome. We thank you for joining in today. And as you all know, we have a special guest today, Arthur Marara. I'm sure all of you guys know him. He's an advocate, he's an author, he's a speaker. I mean, he trains businesses, motivation, inspiration. You can talk about it all, eh? But I'm sure we are going to hear directly from him, so that I won't miss any nitty-gritties. Let's hear directly from Arthur Marara. What can you say about yourself, Arthur Marara, for those that maybe don't know you, for our international viewers who might be for the first time watching you? What can you say about yourself? Who is Arthur Marara?
No, I'm just an ordinary person in the hands of an extraordinary God, eh? So for me, really, I'm seeing the grace of God every day, and yeah, I'm really humbled as well to actually be part and parcel of an agenda to bring about personal transformation in people's lives through conversations. So I'm a lawyer by profession. I think this you know, of course. I went to school to study law, but God has also given me the grace to discover my other talent, which lies in communication. So I love speaking ideas, speaking sense to people, and provoking people to greatness. Then thirdly, I write books. I'm a passionate writer. I enjoy communicating ideas in writing. So one of the things now that I try to encourage people is to get to a level where they also get to discover themselves and get to know more of what they're able to do. And once they know what they're able to do, I believe that's the level that I think real change and real transformation begins to happen. Yeah, so I'm a very simple person, down to earth. I think I am, and I love people so much. And yeah, but the rest, my summary is an ordinary person in the hands of an extraordinary God.
Lovely. I love that. I love that. I have read some of your books, and one of your books that I read recently was called New Thinking, New Possibilities.
New Possibilities. Yeah.
To me as an individual, and I would recommend some of the viewers, if you haven't watched it, please go ahead and watch it. I'm sure I might also be willing to give you, because I got it for free, but it's a powerful book.
Thank you so much. You see, the purpose of that book was to get to help people to embrace new thinking. And I believe it's from this new thinking that we get new possibilities. So it's actually a free ebook, eh? I encourage those people who have never read it to read it. We'll try to make it available to all those people who have never read a copy, so that they can get to experience it more and more. And yeah, I'm happy if the book inspired you. And thanks so much, Annie. So I'm following the work. Eh? You're doing lovely stuff. I'm sure that with the pace at which you're moving, the country has got a bright future. And I think we need more and more young people like you who are passionate about the people development agenda.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, and I'm very much humbled. So you have highlighted, when you give a brief of yourself, that you are using your own talent to meet the two people and help many souls discover who they are.
Yeah.
So it seems like today is actually a major topic on that. We're going to be majoring on that, the power of gifts. So what's your view?
Right.
Because about a couple of weeks ago, we actually started a series on personal leadership. It also encompasses things like purpose, discovering yourself, but we also realize that in order for one to fulfill their purpose, they have to identify their gift, because a gift is an instrument that will help them to fulfill their purpose.
You're right.
So what's your view in that regards? What's your view? What exactly is a gift, and why is it so important in these instances that my gift is different from the person who is next to me?
Yeah, you know what, Anis, I think one of the things that's fundamental is to get to help people realize that God has created all of us with a gift, some form of gift. Nobody is born empty. The good thing about a gift, if you are given a gift, it's not something that you buy. It's something that you don't work for. It's something that is just given to you. Growing up, we used to be told that when a child is born, their hands are usually closed like this. I think you know the story. And the explanation is because someone's hands are closed like this, they are holding something which pretty much is their talent, which is pretty much their gift. I would like to believe that's actually true. Each and every one of us, God has endowed us with gifts, with abilities, natural abilities. And these are the gifts, the talents that God has deposited in all of us. For me, I think I've seen it really at work. I went to school to be a lawyer. I studied law for 4 years. I'm still practicing. I've been practicing law for the past 11 years. But growing up, I realized that there was something that God had put within me, which is that I wanted to see people's lives improve, grow. And I really struggled as in what was really my purpose until I realized, no, God has actually called me to encourage people. God has given me the gift to encourage people, to bring out the best in people. And that's why right now, a number of times when we're doing these sessions, the goal really is to bring out the best from people, because I believe that's the grace that God has given me to be an inspiration, to be an encouragement to people. So a gift is something that God has given you. You don't work for a gift. This is something that God has already put in you. And people don't give you gifts. No one can give you a gift. It's only God who can give you a gift. And you see, a number of times, many people get to leave Earth without even discovering their gifts. So refuse to live on Earth and leave Earth without discovering your gift. What is your ability? What is your gift? So I've got some very humble results when it comes to my academic life. I've got a uni mathematics at O level. I've been seeing English at O level, C English A level, third class university communication skills. And today I'm speaking to you in correct English. Why? Because I was not holding on to a professional qualification. I decided to hold on to a gift, that which I believe God had put within me. And the moment I discovered that, that's the moment my life really turned around. Because once I realized that this is what God has put in me, I started developing it. So I think there are two fundamental stages. Number one is to actually discover your gift. What is your gift? What is it that God has put within you? Then number two, once you've discovered your gift, you need to develop your gift. Of course, we're going to talk a bit about how you discover your gift and then how you can actually develop your gift. So now I've had the privilege of traveling various countries, met new people, and I didn't travel as a lawyer. I traveled as a speaker. So I never went to school to be a speaker. I went to school to be a lawyer. But the speaking, that's the gift that God has put within me. And you see what? I'm going to take you through a story. Allow me, if your time permits. There's a gentleman, I think you know him, a young man called David. You know David? You see, if you read the Bible, which is one of my favorite books, I'm going to take you to the story. I want to put this into a bit of context, just to demonstrate the importance of gift. If you read 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 14, I think you are quite familiar with the story where the Spirit of God had left Saul, and the Lord had replaced that spirit with a tormenting spirit, which filled Saul with depression and fear. If you read the NLT, that's where you get this exact language, 16 verse 14. And verse 15, I want you to notice what happens. Is the Bible says, some of Saul's servants say to him, a tormenting spirit from God is troubling you. And I want you to notice one thing from verse 14, a problem is identified. Verse 15, now the servants are narrowing down and saying, a tormenting spirit from the Lord is troubling you. And what happens on verse 16 is very interesting. The Bible says, these guys advise Saul, but let us find a good musician to play the harp. Whenever the tormenting spirit troubles you, he will play soothing music and you'll soon be well again. I think you know the story. And now the servants are now making a recommendation that let us find a good musician to play the harp. Whenever the tormenting spirit troubles you, you'll play soothing music and you'll be well again. Then, verse 17, you find that Saul approves. It's okay. Find me someone who plays well. I'm going to emphasize the word plays well. Find me someone who plays well. So what the Bible is simply saying in verse 17 is if you're able to play well, there is a vacancy for you. Which is why, even if you've got a gift, you need to make a commitment to be a person of excellence, which is, I think, one of the things that we find really lacking material in many people. So we've got so many people who are talented, but they're not living and operating with excellence. And I think that's one of the greatest mistakes. So Saul says, find me someone who plays in the world. And once you find that person, bring him here. And I want to take you to verse 18. I hope you'll be able to read this as well. Verse 18 is very interesting. So ordinarily, if you've advised that we're creating a vacancy, you know what you do? You go out, place an advert, and you invite the people who are suitably qualified for the job. But I want you to read from 16 verse 18 of the Bible. This is what the Bible says. One of the servants of Saul said to Saul, one of Jesse's sons from Bethlehem is a talented harp player. I want you to underline the word talented. Are you getting that? One of Jesse's sons from Bethlehem is a talented harp player. It's not saying one of Jesse's sons from Bethlehem is an educated harp player. It's saying it's a talented harp player. And not only that, he's a brave warrior, he's a man of war, he's a good judgment, he's also a fine-looking young man. And the Lord is with him. And I want you to notice one thing that I think is quite fundamental in our conversation of gifts. You see, the Bible proves one particular point, that gifts will actually open doors for you. So if you read the story of David, this is a guy who pretty much was not even liked by his own father. I think if you read the story of the anointing of David, Bible will tell you that when Samuel came to anoint the king of Israel, one of the persons he never thought about was David, because he's asked, how many sons do you have? And guess what? He produces the number of sons whom he thought were actually his sons. And when Samuel tried to anoint, nothing actually happened. And that's when you find the Bible says, Samuel actually asked Jesse, are these all your sons? And that's when you find the small David coming and says, no, there's one guy. He's tending sheep. And Samuel says, no, please bring that guy. So I want to notice one thing. David is not a guy who is really on his father's agenda, but he had something that was so needed by the king. He had a talent. So what you find is David's talent of playing music, the gift, is the one that was responsible for putting out of the forest, the wilderness. It took David out of the wilderness. And guess where it took him? It took him into the palace. Why? Because David was able to discover a talent. And when he was able to discover a talent, he was able to develop it. So one thing that I want us to understand is what a gift does for you. And this is what Proverbs chapter 18 verse 16 says. And this is what the Berean Study Bible says. It says, a man's gift opens doors for him. I'm going to repeat this. A man's gift opens doors for him. And what does it do when it opens doors for him? It brings him before great men. A man's gift opens doors for him and brings him before great men. I want you to notice one thing, that the Bible is not saying a man's gift, a man's education. It's not saying a man's education. It's saying a man's gift opens doors for him. And once it opens doors for you, it's not just going to bring you in front of men. It's going to bring you in front of great men. I hope you're getting it. It brings you in front of great men. And I want you to read the CEV. That's the contemporary English version. This is what it says. A gift will get you in to see anyone. A gift will get you in to see anyone. So you see, a number of times, the unfortunate part is our system of education doesn't recognize gifts. Our system of education doesn't embrace gifts. Yes. We're told to develop a career. So a number of times, a number of people, we live, pursue a career, and we die without discovering much. So this is the reason why it should be urgent. It should be very critical to focus on discovering your gifts. You see, the gift that God has given me has allowed me to see more people. And some of the people I'll not have been able to actually see them during my lifetime. Why? Because it's what is within you. It's what's within you. That is the very thing that the world needs. So I think it's very urgent, regardless of your age. You actually need to focus on discovering your gift. What is it that God has put within you? What is it that God has deposited within you? What is it that God has hidden in you? That's the secret to your breakthrough. You see, a number of times people have been taught that go to school, get a great qualification, and you have a great life. That's not correct. You can actually have great education and still live a frustrated life. But what you need to do is to get to that level where you discover that God's desire for you is to discover your talent, discover your abilities. And once you discover your talent, discover your abilities, that's the level where your strength is. So David was able to discover his talent, which is playing music. You know, there's a book of Psalms. The book of Psalm was written by at least 5 people, you know that. There are at least 5 people who actually contributed to the book of Psalm. But you see, there is a thinking by many people that is actually David alone who actually wrote Psalm. Why? Because David developed himself to an extent that even people thought that the whole book of Psalm is actually David. Why? He was able to discover and develop a gift. So when the king has got a problem, he is able now to find a solution in the form of a talented person, in the form of David. So you see, the difference between where you are right now and where you are able to go is an understanding of your talents and your gifts. The difference between your finances right now and where your finances can actually go is tied in your understanding and your exploitation of your gifts. So right now, we're broadcasting through Facebook because of someone was able to discover a talent, but he loves computers. Yeah, he's passionate about connecting people. He's passionate about getting people to do something. And guess what? He nurtured a gift. He nurtured a talent. That's why today we're actually able to stream on Facebook. So one thing that I think is quite critical is we need to make normal this particular conversation on gifts. Zimbabwe, which is our country, we're struggling really with high unemployment. So what do? We've got people who finish A-level, and once they finish A-level, the next thing that they're told is go to school, go into the market, look for a job. Guys, you see, one of the things that unfortunately I always prefer to telling people is I don't like to excite people. But you see, many people were so cultured to think that you need to pray for a job without thinking that you actually need to create a job. But how do you create a job? It has to start from your gifts, your abilities, your skills. That's why it's very important for you to be able to discover your gift. What is it that took Joseph from the prison to become the prime minister of Egypt? It was a gift. He was able to interpret dreams. He was able to answer problems. You see, this is the reason why I think it's fundamental for us to focus really on how we can discover ourselves, discover our gifts, discover our abilities, and to ensure that we become so effective at whatever that we do. So I think really, rather than just focusing on your career, you should also try to reflect. Are you going to school to develop your gift, or they're just going to school for the sake of going to school? You see, when I was at university, and I'm finishing my master's right now, one of the things that we find with university is people go to school, spend 4 years, and they actually spend 4 years doing something that they don't like. And that's so disturbing. They'll do 4 years studying a program that they don't like, forgetting that the secret to success is not just education. I actually need to clarify this point. Your secret to success is not just education. Education is very important, but an education that doesn't add value to your gift is not good education. So discover yourself, which is, I think, the conversation that is supposed to be made normal even from primary school. What is your gift and what is your choice of a career? So you are going to be much more happy in life the moment your career becomes also part and parcel of your gift, where you begin to start doing the very same things that you're passionate about. So I really think it's important, and it's to help people really to find their gifts. You see, now I really thank God so much. I found mine. It's so amazing. If I give you access to my WhatsApp right now, you'll be shocked. I get hundreds and hundreds of messages daily of people who are saying thank you so much for the messages. But did I actually plan to say I'm going to speak? No, I didn't. I think I was able to hear that knock.
Yeah.
Saying, good, this is you. And I was willing to take a risk to say, wow, even if no one is going to listen, I'm going to do this. Many people think I started by speaking to large audiences. That's not true. I started speaking to strangers one-on-one. Yeah, like when any committee members. Yeah, just in a conversation. Until someone told me, sir, I always listen to what you say when you're coming from Sunningdale. I used to stay in Sunningdale, by the way. Sunningdale town. And he says, what you always say is powerful. Keep up the work that you're doing. And little did I know that I was actually shaping up something to become a part and parcel of my life. And right now, I was talking to a fellow friend in the legal profession. I'm saying, come on, it's unfair that people now know me more as a speaker than a lawyer. But I'm actually a lawyer full-time, eh? But now people get to know more of the gift than the profession. And I think we need to help more people to be comfortable with their gifts. I'll give you an example, just to illustrate the power of a gift. There's a guy called Jah Praiser. Guys, whether they like him or not, the guy has managed to change the direction of music in the country. Go on YouTube. I was watching one of his videos. It's now on 6 million views. I think it should be Zamsanam Tanwara. I think one of those songs. 6 million views. And Zimbabwe as a country, we are on what? 17 million. So you're actually talking about a significant fraction of our population in Zimbabwe is actually managed to watch him. He has managed now to cross the borders. He's managed to do international collaborations. But why was he able to do that? It's because of a gift. You see, when you've got a gift, and once you discover it, the world will discover you. So this is the reason why we need to be able to discover our gifts. Why? Because once you discover your gift, the world is going to discover you, and the world is going to pay you to exhibit your gift. Right now, you see how much Jah Praiser charges per hour to perform is more than what some other people will make in years, just because of a gift. And right now, I was on Nash TV's YouTube page. My good friends at Nash TV there. The Color Vibes thing. There's a guy called Jah Master. There's a song called The Long Way. I'm like, so I've been seeing people posting some snippets of that video, and I remember out of curiosity I'd actually go and play it. What does this guy say? And guess what? I actually listened to it. I'm like, okay. So the guy is wearing an interesting outfit. The next thing, the guy has been able to arrange some very interesting lyrics. The guy is so passionate about what he's doing. And last time I checked, it was on over 1 million views. I just want you to look at this. Over 1 million views. Why? Because the world recognizes people who recognize their gifts. So now on YouTube, if you hit 1 million, you know what it means. That's money. That's money. And that very same series, my good friend Maititi, I think she also did something. I think she has a song called what? Survive, I think. The last time I was talking with her yesterday, she's saying the video had actually crossed 300,000 views. I'm just showing you the power of gifts. That once you have been able to discover something and you develop it, that's where your breakthrough is. So what is it that makes you lose sleep every day? You see, there's something that's knocking on your door every day. So right now, if you sleep, Anesu, there's something that's saying, Anesu, you need to write this message. You need to do this video. Anesu, you need to send this message on your YouTube. You need to talk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That very same thing that takes away your sleep, that makes you uncomfortable, that's your gift. So right now, you see, people ask me, do I plan on what I have to say? Yeah, of course I research, but you see, when I'm in any environment, I just want to speak to someone. Yeah, just like, I can't keep quiet. I just want to help someone. That's me. That's my gift. So even if I just say, today I just want to relax. But if I see to someone, I'm just having a conversation that's encouraging somebody. So I want people to learn to take time and get to study themselves as well. What is it that you find easy to do? I'm not talking about how to discover your gift. What is it that you find easy to do? You see, a number of times, I think people have been confused to think that finding your gift has to be a complex process. But you see, God has put some things that we find to be easy when it comes to doing. You see, some people, if they come into your house, they can quickly tell you in seconds how you can rearrange your house. So those people, they're interior designers. Some people, if you give them ingredients, they'll cook an amazing meal. Guess what? They have some amazing culinary gifts, meaning that person, they can actually be setting up a television show, teaching people how to cook. They can be running classes, teaching people how to cook. They can be running a Facebook channel where they get to empower people on how to cook. So one of the things that I need to tell people, regardless of what you do, pursue it. Regardless of the skills, regardless of your past, regardless of your background. But if there's something that God has put within you, I want you to pursue it. You see, a number of times, one of the things that I find with many people is we're always talking ourselves out of our gifts. Like, no, will people listen to me? Will people follow what I'm doing? Will people like what I'm saying? No. You see, it's not whether or not people like it. It's about you being obedient and doing the very same thing that God has called you to do. So I was talking to Tafadzwa Mandinika. Tafadzwa is a very good friend of mine. He's the guy who handles our marketing and all the wonderful work across our pages. You were saying something very interesting. He says, do you know we've crossed 29,000 followers on our Facebook page? We're talking about organic numbers, 29,000. And I'm like, what? Yeah, but one day we had to set up a page and say we're going to share ideas. We're going to invite people to follow the page so that they can get to experience the messages. And were we going to get the numbers? We didn't know. But we made a decision to be obedient, that we have to do this. And when we started the Facebook Live, the AM Live, you see, it was just a vision. Why don't we talk to people every Monday, share ideas, and encourage each other? Whether or not people are going to watch, that's something else, but I think we need to do this. And trust me, the experience has been so amazing. So I need to tell people, whether or not people are going to like what you're going to do, I think you'd rather focus on being obedient and doing the thing that God has put within you. That's the secret to your success. And once you start doing that, you begin to see your life even changing as well. So everyone, and I need to stress this point, so everyone has been given gifts by God. No one is born empty. So right now, one of the things when I was growing up, I was asking myself, what am I going to do? I've got a U in maths, I've got a C in English. And little did I know that God was actually preparing me to use my past as a message. That even if you're without maths, you can still do wonders. Even without good grades in English, you can still speak in correct English. You can still be able to interact with an international audience. Why? Because you are not your past. You are what you tell yourself that you are. You are your future. You are what you decide to be. And this is the reason why I think people need to be so comfortable. Back to Japreza, I like giving some of these local examples. You see, there's several songs that Japreza did, which many people don't know of. Why? Because back then, people were not so much interested. Who is this guy? What is he doing? Blah, 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 blah. But come on, now people can't ignore it. Can't ignore him. Why? Because he was so persistent. Look at Tuku, Dr. Oliver Mtuku, the late. He started singing back then. And many people then were like, this guy is singing. But you see, by the time that he died, even the president was so convinced this guy is a national hero. So this time you find a person being accorded hero status, not because they went to war, but because there was something that was playing that changed the atmosphere in the country. This was somebody who was able to discover their gift. And this is the reason why I want each and everyone to take time to actually discover their gifts. What is within you? What is it that makes you angry? You see, your gifts can also be found in the things that make you angry. So Martin Luther King is a guy who grew in a time of racism, in a time where the blacks were segregated. And guess what? The orator in him, the guy who hated injustice in him, had to rise. So that anger at injustice saw the rise of Martin Luther King Jr. and declaring that one day he hopes that his children will not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of their moral character. So what is it that you see that makes you angry? I get to see people, I hate to see people giving up, to be honest. I hate to see people killing themselves just because they failed A, B, C, D. That's why every time I'm here to remind people that you're worth it. You're special. Even if you've made mistakes, God loves you. You're special. You're worth it. Even if you're the only person on earth, Jesus will still come to die for you. You see, I hate to see people looking down upon themselves. I really hate that. I want to see more people rising to become confident people. And guess what? Every time, yeah. So for me, really, that anger, it's one of the powerful driving forces. So a number of times, people get to say that I am a bit on the harsh side when I'm speaking. Today, I'm trying to go the soft side. What is it that gives me the energy, the power, and the drive when I'm speaking? It's because I want to see people transform their lives. Many people's lives are not going to change without a bit of pressure. That's why we're trying to do this. I'm seeing Medicine Zole. Medicine Zole, she wrote to me, says, Arthur, please use English throughout. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. She's from Kenya. And no, I was really humbled that I'm able to actually speak to people as far as East Africa. And I'm just going to illustrate the principle that your gift is going to allow you to meet new people. Your gift is going to take you through new offices. Your gift is going to take you places where your education is not going to take you. So I really think it's critical to be people who are comfortable with our natural gifts. You see, a number of times, one of the things that really pains me, honestly, is people trying to be what they're not. We live in a world of people who are imitators. We just want to, everyone wants to be like Justin Bieber. Everyone wants to be like Kim Kardashian. That's why they're trying to keep up with the Kardashians. You won't be able to keep up with the Kardashians. Everyone wants to be what ABC and so is. But you see, once you discover your gift, one of the things that you become is authentic. You become so confident and passionate about that particular gift, and you see you have no reason really to try to copy anybody else. So I want to encourage people really to be comfortable with who you are, comfortable with your calling. You see, one of the things that I experienced in the past few years is many people ask me, says, Arthur, I want to be like you. I'm like, okay, it's good, but I actually want you to be a better version of yourself. I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be a better version of yourself. Why? Because my role is simply to inspire and create a reason for you to want to be yourself more. Not a reason for you to want to be me. No, I don't want you to be me. I want you to be a better version of yourself. And when you get a mentor, one of the things about mentoring is the focus should never be to create duplicates. The focus is simply to create an atmosphere where you get to discover yourself and you get to be comfortable with yourself. That's why right now, one of the things that I tell people, I'm actually a very unique speaker. I don't speak like anyone. I speak like me. I try as much as possible to ensure that if we spend a few minutes together, if I'm going to go on stage, those few minutes, I'm going to make you very uncomfortable. And once I make you very uncomfortable, the goal is to say, sit down with yourself and change. So for me, that's my uniqueness. I make people angry. They're like thoroughly angry. And at first, many people say, no, this guy saying a lot of things. Next thing, they're like, no, dude, you're telling the truth. Like, that's what I want to see. Yeah, many people coming back to themselves, reconnecting themselves, and coming to a point where get to that point where you realize you can actually do more. And I think that's what I want to see. So I think let's prioritize really discovering our gifts. It can be a musical gift. It can be a cooking gift. It can be a cleaning gift. It can be a sewing gift. It can be a poetic gift. It can even be a comic gift. You see, in Zim, I've had the privilege of meeting quite a number of comical fellas, very gifted in comedy. I've given a good example of my Titi, my good friend there. You see, my Titi is right now on Facebook. I think she's on 500,000 followers, 500,000. And I'm like, if I can get to 500,000, I think I would have worked very hard. But for her, if she actually does a broadcast like now, you'll be shocked the number of people who are actually going to come with that show. Why? Because she's simply pursuing a gift. Right? She's simply pursuing a gift, which is why I want to encourage more and more people, guys, let's pursue our gifts. How do you make money from your gifts? Of course, that's something that we'll be happy to share and encourage you. Any area of life, if you find it, and so you can make money out of it. You can make money from speaking. You can make money from talking. You can make money from singing. You can make money from cooking. You can make money from cleaning. You can make money from making people laugh. You can make money from all those things. So you see, a number of times we downplay the value and the importance of our gifts. And consequently, I think we actually miss out on the bigger picture. So it's God's desire to see many more people waking up to realize that God has actually put something within them. And the world makes room and creates way for a person who's discovered their gift. It does. So a number of times, I get invitations almost every day to speak. And I'm asking, why are people coming to invite me? Because I've discovered something. And I've got something to offer. And what is it that I've got to offer? I've got a gift to offer. That's why every gift, every talent, every ability is important. So never downplay or look down upon that which God has put within you. It's important. I started writing books without any previous background of writing. I'm actually seeing a friend of mine, Manas Msongela, here. Manas, I met him some few years ago. He's an amazing history teacher. Please, I want you to follow, if you've got a child or anybody who is doing A-level history, go to a page written Arthur Marara and Mr. Muso. That's a page we created for history and people studying FRS, Family and Religious Studies. But you see, Manas has traveled now globally just because of teaching history. So he's a guy who's exceptional, who's phenomenal. And you know what? Right now, every time I talk to him, I'm actually very inspired. Why? Because he's coming from a fraternity which many people are looking down upon. And guys, with all due respect, I think we all owe a responsibility to acknowledge the work that teachers do. But this guy has done tremendous things just from teaching history. So, which is why I think even if you are a security guard, be exceptional. Even if you're a mate, be exceptional, because we all start from somewhere. We all start from somewhere. We're not going to start at the top, because we start from somewhere. We need to be able to realize that the opportunities of tomorrow, they are tied to our level of faithfulness today. That's why, for me, I take every engagement seriously. I've been invited to speak various places. Certain places I charge, certain places I don't. I've done a lot of charity work for charity organizations. And when I'm actually going for charity organizations, I still actually speak as if I'm being paid. Why? Because you see, your opportunity is right next to you when you become excellent at whatever you do. Which is why, even if you've got a gift, make a commitment to be a person of excellence. Why? Because you see, excellence is going to open doors to people who are going to ask you to exhibit your skills. Just that this year it's COVID, but you see, I travel a lot, eh? That's how I actually get to go on holiday. I travel a lot to just go and speak. And when I go, the 30 minutes, the 1 hour, I give it my best. So I'm always encouraging people. You don't necessarily need a big opportunity. You simply need to handle whatever opportunity in a big way. And once you do that, that's where your next breakthrough is. And I pray that our generation is able to realize that. Our generation, I pray that we won't spend much time on WhatsApp. Let's spend more time on ourselves. Less time online, more time on yourself. Realizing that if you don't dedicate time to you, to discovering more about yourself, no one is going to do that for you. You see, I'm always telling people, if you don't discover yourself, someone will discover you and they'll make money through you. If you don't discover yourself, someone is going to discover you and they'll make money through you. So a number of times, many people who are gifted, they're actually working for people who are not gifted. Many people who are gifted, exceptionally gifted, they're working for people who are not even gifted, but they're able to recognize the gift. And once they're able to recognize the gift, guess what they do? They employ that gift and they'll give you a salary. Which is why, one of the things that I'm encouraging people now is really to get out of our comfort zones. Get out of your comfort zone. And once you get out of your comfort zone, it really helps you to get to realize that you need to start thinking differently. Start doing certain things in a particular way, in a better way. And I'm really praying that our younger generation really, rather than just focus on getting a job, I think we need to focus on finding who we are. And once we find who we are, I think even our financial breakthrough is tied to that. And I think there's so much we can actually say. But for me, I think discovering the gift is very important. And once we discover that gift, we need to develop that gift. You see, if you mine gold and you don't process the ore, you never have gold. You simply have the ore. So a gift is simply raw. It gives you the ore. But what we need to do is to go through the next processes, go through the furnace, refine it, and extract it, and ensure that we can deliver the gift in its finest form. Wow. You see, one of the popular sports on the planet, I think, is football, soccer. If you watch soccer, you see that there's something interesting. You're watching 22 people in a field who are being paid to enjoy themselves. They're being paid just to have fun. So once you find your gift, your vocation becomes your vocation. You don't necessarily you don't necessarily need to go on vacation because you're already on vacation. So I'm always telling people, for me, speaking is not a business; it's a hobby. Yeah, it's a hobby. I speak as a hobby. I love it. Yeah, it's a hobby. I'm not working. So what I'm actually doing now is not working. It's just a manifestation of a hobby, which is why I think it's critical for people to find their hobbies. So for me, I tell people my retirement plan. So my retirement plan is very simple. I'm going to retire in speaking. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'll be traveling globally. Yeah, just to tell people you can do this. Simple. That's my retirement plan. So I have no plans of actually saying I'm no longer going to work. No, come on. How do I retire from a gift? You don't retire from a gift. That's the good part of finding a gift. You can't be fired from a gift. No one can fire you from a gift. How do you fire Japreza? Like, seriously. How do you fire Davido? Like, seriously. So you can be angry at me, you can be jealous, but come on, you're wasting your energy. So this is the part. That's the importance and the power of a gift. So once you find that, you are home and you're actually dry. So, of course, we now need to help people against being complacent and realizing that if you don't develop your gift, someone is going to develop their gifts and they're going to overshadow you. So find it and develop it and become a better person.